King Valium's ship flies towards a busy spaceport on the edge of the Alderaan system. Obi-Wan and Talon observe through a window. The Alderaan shipyards?
Only at first glance, Master Kenobi.
The doors of a huge hangar open and the vessel enters. Obi-Wan and Talon press up against the glass in shock. The facility below is in a buzz with what seems to be a newly equipped army. Obi-Wan is in shock. Your Majesty, if you recall the terms of the peace treaty, Alderaan was to return to its neutral status, with no army.
Indeed.
And you no doubt recall that violation of this treaty could result in a suspension, possibly even a resurgence of the war.
If Alderaan had an army, which it does not, what you see here is a private enterprise, with not a single citizen of Alderaan involved.
Except for you.
I am merely renting our space to an independent security agency. Such a thing is not unusual.
How did you get all of this equipment here without attracting attention?
An old friend of mine runs a shipping company.
Obi-Wan turns to face him. You're playing a very dangerous game, Your Majesty.
Let us speak plainly. My world has always been a peaceful planet. It is what we are, what we stand for, and I would never want to change that. However, the Clone Wars taught us a very hard lesson. We must have the ability to defend ourselves. What you see here is a way for me to protect my world without violating the treaty.
Talon smiles.
An off-the-books army.
King Valium looks at her.
And from what you have told me, my dear, an army that the Chancellor does not control could be a very useful one indeed.
The ship lands, and as the three of them exit, Obi-Wan turns and sees a row of fighter jets lined up. X-Wings, the new design.
I heard about them. Just as tough as the TIE fighter, only lighter and faster.
As you might have guessed, yes, this is the beginning of what will become the Rebel Alliance. And that friend with the shipping company that helped get the equipment here that King Valium is referring to is, of course, Padme. She runs the shipping company. So she's been working with him to try to help set up this Rebel Alliance. The king leads them into a control room, and already waiting there is Yoda, Captain Antini's, and pregnant Padme. Obi-Wan senses Padme's sadness from across the room, and sends her a comforting smile. The king slowly scans the faces of everyone in the room.
Welcome, Master Yoda, Padme. I want to thank you all for being here. The last time we were all together, the galaxy looked very different. But with the help of old friends and new friends,
He gestures to Talon.
perhaps we can remedy that. Together.
He hits the button. So it's true, Sidious is building it, with the clones as his workforce.
They're wasting their time, they'll never finish it.
Why's that?
It can't be built. A structure that size generates its own gravitational pull, just like a small planet. So the more mass you add to it as you're building it, the stronger the gravity field grows, and it starts to collapse in on itself. There's no metal strong enough to support the structure. We realized that towards the end, so we just decided to use these plans to scare people. But it could never really be built.
Mandalorian iron is strong enough.
Sure, there's just not enough of it. The best place to find Mandalorian iron is around Gentane. We had Tarkin dig up almost every Gentane deposit across the galaxy, and it still wasn't enough.
You had Tarkin running the mines for you, and guess who the Chancellor has put in charge of this?
Talon's face drops.
Tarkin.
The king hits another button, and a base on a planet comes up.
It seems he found a lot more iron in those mines than he let on. He'd dig it up and have it quietly stockpiled away here. Now they have enough to begin construction. My scouts say the clones are guarding the stockpile and running the forges day and night. The dropships carry the iron from the forge up to the structure in orbit to build the framework.
So we destroy the stockpile of iron and they can't finish building it.
Correct. It would take them decades to gather this much iron again.
How could we destroy the stockpile? If Mandalorian iron is as strong as you say, it would survive even the biggest blast.
Not necessarily. Mandalorian iron can only be forged once with blue plasma, and once it's been forged, that's it. We can't destroy the iron, but if we hit the stockpile with enough blue plasma, it will all forge as one giant block, and it will be useless to them.
Well then, all we need now is a battle plan.
That, my friend, is why you're here. I have the army ready, but we need someone with military experience to lead it.